the next pattern we're going to be looking at today is a drawn pattern that I've used this 1 centimeter grid paper to draw these different triangles. So if you see here, I have 4 different triangles, and they're numbered as figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and figure 4. And today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be trying to figure out how many vertices that it intersects in these squares. So it sounds kind of confusing when I say it, but it will make sense as we count them together. So figure number 1, so I'm looking at how many times it intersects at a vertice of these points. So I have 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Okay, so there are 3 in figure number 1. Okay, so those are the dots of the perimeter. So figure number 1, we have 3 dots. Just going to write it down to make sure I'm staying on track here. So my figure number 2, again, we're going to count how many times it intersects in the lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So figure number 2, it's intersected 6 lines around the perimeter. Figure number 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 dots around my perimeter there. My figure number 4, okay, I'm going to count up my dots again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 dots around my perimeter of my shape. So here I can start to see a pattern that is emerging. I notice right away that my pattern is clearly increasing, just like my pattern with my blocks that I did earlier today. So I see that I had 3 blocks in the first, and then I have 6 in the next one. So I notice that it's skip counting by 3 here. So it's going down by 3 and increasing by 3 each time. So if I wanted to express this pattern as a pattern rule, as a way to describe my pattern, I could say that our pattern rule is that we start at 3 because our first shape had 3. Our first shape had 3. So we start at 3 and we add 3 each time. So that is a pattern rule that could help to describe this pattern that I've drawn. But some of you might have noticed that there's actually another pattern that exists. So aside from the one that goes down, some of you maybe have noticed that there's a pattern if you go across our table. Anyone see a relationship between this number and this number? Something that we could do to this number in order to get to this number? Or something that you can do to this number to get to this number? Well, I know when I skip count by a number, it's kind of like I am multiplying by that number. So maybe I could say that there's another pattern rule here. So both of these pattern rules would be correct. You wouldn't have to necessarily write both, but you might notice that there are different rules that could apply. So pattern rule number 2 might be that my triangle number is multiplied by 3. 1 times 3 equals 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. 3 times 3 equals 9. and 4 times 3 equals 12. So both of these rules could be applied in order to help me solve questions to do with this pattern. For instance, if I was asked to find how many dots would be in the perimeter of the 12th triangle, how could I figure out how many dots would be in the 12th triangle? So that's when I would apply my pattern rule to help me figure that out. So I'm just going to rewrite my pattern in a different way here. So if I'm adding 3 each time, I can skip count by 3 12 times in order to help me. Okay, so I'm already at 4, so I'm going to add 3 more to get to 15. That's 5. 3 more, get to 18. 6. 21 would be next. 24. 27. 30. 33. And 36. And I'm going to pause there because I'm pretty sure that's my 12 numbers. Let me just count them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So on my 12th triangle, I would have 36 dots around my perimeter. So that was the application of applying rule number 1. Remember that I skip counted by 3 12 times in order to figure out how many dots would be in that 12th triangle. So that would definitely be one solution to the problem. But remember we said there was a second pattern rule that we could apply as well. So perhaps rather than skip counting 12 times, we could use pattern rule number 2, which is the triangle number is multiplied by 3. So if I'm looking for the 12th triangle, then I would just need to multiply that triangle number by 3. Okay, so some of us know our 12 times tables really well, but all of us know how to multiply 2 by 1-digit numbers. So I'm going to go 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. So on my 12th triangle, I would have 36 dots around the perimeter. So once again, this is an example of how we can take our pattern rules that we notice occurring in a pattern, and we can apply them to help us figure out a missing number in our pattern. If you have any questions, please contact me or Mrs. Au. Please comment below if you like this kind of solution. If you want more pattern rules videos, I can make some more for you. Good luck on your questions, guys.